Here we go. I think. Yay! Hey, that Amber chick. Can you hear me? I didn't even check my volume. Hey, Liz. Hey, Susan. Can you guys hear me okay? Yes. Okay, awesome. I didn't check my volume, so I wasn't sure. Hey, guys. Yeah, Tina couldn't make it tonight. She wasn't feeling too well, so I'm by myself, it looks like. But I have not seen this video, and I withheld. Tina sent it to me last night, and I withheld watching it because I wanted to watch it tonight for the first time. So, and I don't want to wait any longer, so I want to watch it. Hi, Claire Bear. Hi, Liz. Hi, Cat Mom. Hi, Jane White. All right, I'll give it a few more minutes. Give it a few more minutes for a few more people maybe arrive, and then I'll give it a start. I sent Tina the link, so if she changes her mind or she starts to feel better, she may join us. I don't know, but if not, I get it. Yeah, she is a super mod, Phoebes. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start it. Anyways, the video we're watching is the Katie's apology video to Steve. I'm not sure what exactly it entails. I know it was last year, I think, sometime, or maybe she made the apology early this year, but I think it was last year. If anyone knows for sure when it was, just feel free to let me know. But I know that the whole situation with her and Steve is one of the things that kind of turned her into this polarizing personality or whatever person on YouTube. So I was really interested to see this video. So I heard it existed. I just never watched it. So, but all right. Here, yeah, okay. Can you guys hear the video okay? I just want to make sure sound's going through. All right. I'm going to press play again. If you can't hear it, let me know. Okay, let me. No, you don't hear. Okay. I set it up the way it told me to. I don't know why. Wonder what. Can't hear kitchen. All right, having issues. Just let me look this up again in the broadcast studio share screen. The Chrome tab. Oh, okay. Where is that? Okay, I see. All right. Let me do this again. Okay, now you should be able to hear it. Okay, let me know now.
Hi everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. I'm gonna try to get here. All right, so if you are new to my channel, this is gonna be extremely confusing for you. You might not even wanna watch it because you're not gonna know
Awesome.
a lot of the players involved in
Thank
this,
you.
and it's not, I don't know. This is really for the people that have been here since the beginning and that know me from a channel called Non Sequitur. And I need to just
Oh,
speak
shoot.
my truth months after everything happened. And
Hey, Tina,
Hey.
I just added you. Sorry. I just
Hey.
Yeah, so you're live now, just so you know.
Hey everyone. I just turned down my phone. I was posting in the chat. Let's see. How's everybody doing? Let me shut my
How you
door.
doing?
I'm okay. I took some Excedrin before you and I talked on the phone, and I just had some pizza, which I hardly ever get, and my head's feeling a little better. I'm not supposed to take Excedrin, like I'm allergic, make my stomach bleed. So
Oh, that's not good.
I'll do it every now and then if I feel like I'm gonna be like Ralphing. I just can't handle that. Anyway, my head feels better.
Okay, good.
Everything's good. I'm glad I'm
Um,
here.
can you provide some backstory on? I'm sorry, I hear myself on your from your mic or whatever.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I can hear you. All
Okay.
right. Yeah, I can hear me now. That's good. Can you provide some backstory though to this video? Like, when did she make this apology video?
Okay, excuse me. I believe, I am not positive, but I believe it was made sometime um oh, excuse me. Sometime around, I want to say between, I was still watching her then.
Oh, so it was definitely
So
2019.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was
Okay.
before. I'm pretty sure it was after. It had to have been after she released the Amber videos.
The
Because that's how
audio.
I found her, is because of the Amber audio.
Oh,
Like a
okay.
lot of
All
people
right.
found her. So it was sometime after that, between then and say December.
Okay. All
I
right.
don't. I'll find out for sure though.
Okay. I just wasn't sure. Like, I'm like, I think it was 2019. I don't think it happened this year.
No, it
Just
didn't happen this
judging
year.
everything that I know that did happen this year, I don't think that she was apologizing to Steve this year. But okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start playing it again.
Okay.
Is that cool? Or
Yeah.
everyone ready? Okay.
just be done and move on. And first, I want to say that this has been a very confusing situation for me. Before I ever had my own following on YouTube, I was a writer on Pathos, and I had met two individuals, one named Kyle Curtis and one named Kyle Curtis and one named Steve McRae, because I ended up writing this article about a woman named Jillian Epperly who believes that cabbage basically will cure everything. And she had been slated to appear on their show, and they were going to sort of debate her about her claims that cabbage juice would cure homosexuality and cancer and AIDS and autism and reverse Down syndrome. I mean, she's a character, and it's not true, obviously.
Is everyone familiar with Jelly Juice? I just want to ask. She was on the Dr. Phil show. Jeff Holiday appeared on the show too, along with her to like kind of try and fact check her or whatever. But just wondering if anyone's familiar with her, because wow, she was an interesting character.
And she realized quickly that she was walking into hostile territory and decided to cancel. And I had been covering her on my column because I, at the time, was doing a lot of stuff with pseudoscience. And I noticed that she started sort of freaking out about her cancellation, and she was talking about this channel. And I just sort of wrote about it, and it ended up her getting banned from Facebook for being using homophobic slurs. And they saw me. So Kyle and Steve, who had that channel, reached out to me afterwards, and they were like, "Oh, we saw your article. Thanks." And then they both had talked with me about maybe coming on their channel and sort of talking about it. And I agreed. And so I don't even remember how much longer it was after that. I was a guest on the Non Sequitur, and I talked about Jillian and all the other kind of redonkulous people that I was covering at the time. And then I don't even know, within a month maybe, Kyle had asked me, like, I was on the show like 2 more times within a span of a couple weeks, and then he reached out to me and he asked me if I wanted to maybe co-host once a week a show called The Smoking Nun, where we would maybe do like news and talk about like a current story, whether it was crime or pseudoscience or something sort of relevant in what society, I guess. It's hard to, I don't even know how to explain it. So I agreed. I agreed to do that. And so that started, and I had no experience on YouTube. And so I started, and I don't even know how many shows we did. It was probably less than 20, maybe 10 or 12 total. And during that time, we were supposed to do it once a week, but it consistently got.
Do you want to test your mic out before I continue?
Oh, I couldn't hear you, and then I heard you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to unmute my microphone.
Yeah, it's better. I went out and just checked it all. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, it said your mic's unhooked, but I was literally just sitting here. So I don't know. I don't know if my cat, like, she's obsessed with the cord. So I don't know if she's like bit it and put a little short in it or something, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Does she ramble on like this for a while?
It's kind of like what it's about. She's gonna, I mean, at least everybody's gonna hear the
Yeah.
story. You know what I mean? They're gonna hear exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And hear the story from like her point of view or her version or whatever.
Oh, it's changed. I gotta find all. There's so many versions. It's so funny.
Okay, all right.
He got canceled. He did a lot of traveling. He was in Ohio. His ex-boyfriend a bunch. There was always sort of something why we couldn't do the stream. I never really knew when it was going on. I didn't know. It was very disorganized. Um, but I was grateful for having the opportunity to learn. And there was this really awesome producer of the show. His name is Dave. He taught me like everything I know about how to stream and how to run my streams and how to organize my streams and everything. And I was like, that was probably like the most valuable friendship I earned out of that. He's an amazing guy, and I haven't talked to him in months, and I feel really bad about that. And I am sorry, Dave, if I didn't talk to you or didn't hear what you had to say. I was very confused.
Okay.
And I wanted to make that very clear right now.
I just want to make this clear. Dave is Bull. So she's talking about Bull, the person that I did the one video with. I can't hear you.
Because I keep forgetting to unmute my mic. If you guys didn't catch that live stream with Tina and Boole, I mean, check it out. It was really good. I mean, I heard a lot of stuff that I never knew about. So
Yeah, he's a great guy. Like he
yeah,
really, really is.
like it.
We need him. We need to hire him to produce our shows because clearly.
Well, we're getting better. I mean, it took me like maybe it took me less than 10 minutes to get everything set up tonight, and it worked.
Yeah, you're further than I am. I mean, I love Ecamm. I don't have to do anything but push a button, really, you know. So,
Okay.
Anyways, Kyle and Steve started having all of these issues, and I was not part of the show. I didn't own the channel. I didn't get paid for my work. I didn't get any kickbacks or anything, nothing. And so I didn't know any of the inner workings. Initially, when I asked Kyle who owned the channel, he said it was a partnership between him and Steve. And then as the months went on, and more, I would say Steve and Kyle weren't seeing eye to eye on things. And I would hear about different arguments and different things that would happen. And it was very dramatic, and there was always something that was going on between them. And I would just say, well, who owns the channel? Like, could you separate? Because I honestly had no idea. I wasn't there when it began. And he's changed from saying that it was owned by Steve to that it was his channel and that Steve didn't really do anything, which I thought was okay. But I thought you guys both owned it. But then he said, no, like, I'm the channel owner. This is my channel. I can get rid of it. And then that's when it sort of started with him being like, I'm done. We're separating. This is over. That created a mass hysteria. And I was not close with Steve. I didn't really know. I mean, I'd been on like a couple streams with him, but I didn't talk with him very much. Steve and I have very different points of view, and politically and socially. And I mean, nothing against Steve. It's just like we just weren't really like besties, I guess you should say. And Kyle and I really got along and had a lot in common. And so I did most of it with Kyle because I did a show with Kyle, and that's sort of how it worked. I didn't participate in the show on the other.
Glass half full. Steve is Steve McRae from the Non Sequitur show, the YouTube channel that he had over a year ago with Kyle. Pretty much, he's like the person, I guess, who kind of really started. He was like the catalyst, really, that caused Katie to become like this polarizing personality for people online or on Facebook or YouTube rather. I don't know how to explain it other than there's the subreddit WOACB has a very extensive explanation about who he is.
I will say that Steve also is the person that Katie got a TRO against.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a huge thing. She claimed that he stalked and harassed her for a year. If y'all pay attention to what she says when we see the other videos, like you can kind of put the puzzle pieces together, right? And see all the inconsistencies in what she says. But they basically, from what Bull said, he believed, and she just kind of validated what he said, is that they only streamed together in 2 videos. That's all we found. So in one of those 2 videos, Katie claims that Steve sexually harassed her. But on a video she did after making the claim, she made the claim in a chat on somebody else's stream. After that, she said, I didn't say he sexually harassed me. I said he made me feel uncomfortable. So, I don't know. Bull said that he was always present, so we don't know where this happened. She has changed her story several times.
Yeah.
It's a mystery.
And after she was granted the 2-week TRO there or whatever, and they were, it was granted for 2 weeks, in which case they would both go to court, and he would tell his side or whatever. And but after they went, all I know is right after that court date, there was no more TRO. So I like to throw that out there because I don't know. You hear TRO and you think these horrible things.
Right.
Well,
and I have you guys want to go to the Instagram for the group. I have posted about the allegation that she made. I have posted screenshots of her on Twitter in a Twitter conversation. Steve was trying to get her to either take back what she said or explain where it happened. You know what I mean? And she said she wanted to meet him. She would talk to him privately, or else she wasn't going to deal with him. She did not want to do it publicly.
So, and he obviously, if somebody has, for a man or a woman, if somebody has claimed that you sexually harass them, you are not going to want to do anything, in my
Exactly.
opinion, privately. It would have to be a public thing. So Steve did do a lot of streams about her. Um, but she posted a lot about him and also did streams about him. So Steve's stuff is still there. Katie's, I would bet that it's probably all deleted.
I would bet that too.
So
Absolutely.
we can look at this like we're watching the first video, right? The first apology video, and that was the first time I ever heard about Steve. And this video made me look into him. We can like watch all these videos together and we can all like it'll be like a conspiracy. Let's figure out the truth, right? It's like playing what is that game, that board game? You know where somebody died?
A clue.
Clue. Yeah, we're playing Clue with these videos. We'll see.
The other days that I wasn't on there. I honestly didn't really watch the channel a lot because it had a lot of the same content every single week. Like they always did like a Flatter night fight where they fought with flat earthers, which I thought was cute at first, but then it was like I couldn't listen to the same fights over and over and over again. And more and more people started having problems with Non Sequitur, sort of like who they put on the channel, whether it was some guy that was a white supremacist or people talking about ethnostates or how the people in chat treated or talked about guests that were on the show. Some of the female guests were very disheartened on how people spoke about them. And I also took I took some of that heat too. Was a lot of guys that watched the channel, and a lot of them didn't think I was very smart. They thought I was pretty stupid. I saw a lot of really nasty comments, but I just sort of like was like, whatever, it's YouTube, who cares, right? But other female guests were very like upset about that, and they spoke out about it, and then that created a divide with some of the other YouTubers that had smaller atheist channels, and it just there's like always something that was going on, and I was always very on the outside looking in. I spoke to Kyle like once a week right before we went on our live. We would speak before we would do our show and for a few minutes after, and then after that it wasn't like I talked to him again the next week. So it was very business, I guess is what you can say. So it's, I hope all of this is making sense. So in June, things just came to a head on their channel. And at the time, Kyle was very adamant that he wanted to separate from Steve. And I was supportive because he seemed really beat down and just like not happy with the direction things were going. And I had witnessed a lot of the arguments that they had and a lot of the streams that they had to like clean up different things that had happened on Twitter. And I was naive and new to YouTube, and my own channel was just starting to take off. And this was in June. I started uploading content on my YouTube channel in March, even though I've had the account since last October. I actually started my account because of what I did with Non Sequitur. So my channel didn't have any content on it until March. But then by June, I was starting to get a following, and I wasn't doing as many streams with them. And so I was kind of separated from it. I was never really in the inner circle. I was never like besties with any of the people on there. I was very much kind of on the outside looking in. I never really felt like I was part of the club. I don't know. That's just my own doing. I'm not a groupie person. I don't have a lot of, I'm just an introvert, let's just say. So, anyways, they have this divide. And then Steve apparently gets really upset because he says that Kyle has never paid him, and they've been having this channel for all of this time. And he says that Kyle's never paid him. And then I talked to Kyle, and Kyle tells me that he has the money, but there's like all of these other issues that are going on for why he's not paid him yet. And he blamed it on Steve not wanting the money because of something to do with some medical benefits that he was trying to get from the government, and that if he got paid, he would go above the limit. And that when he told me that, I was like, well, that would be fraud. And then he said, yeah, it is fraud. And so I was told that the reason why he wasn't paid was because Steve was basically trying to like hide money from the government to be getting aid, right? And I have a child that has aid that gets Medicaid. And so obviously I'm very sensitive to that. And I think it's like crappy if people take advantage of the system. And so with the information that he had given me and a lot of like text messages that maybe were out of context, I believed him. And I didn't have a reason not to believe him because I didn't know Steve as well. And Kyle, I had felt up until that point hadn't lied to me. And so I was very vocal on Twitter and I said, well, what you're doing is trying to defraud the government by getting these services, and you're trying to defraud the VA, or you're trying to defraud. I didn't know who he had these benefits with. I just knew that Kyle was telling me that he was trying to defraud them. And so I believed him wrongly, I admit. And he said that he had the money, and they were very clear that they had the money, and they were very like adamant that he would get paid. And he said he had everything like in an account and it was all ready. And he had books and he was going to give all of that to Steve. And then, so that all happened like mid-June, I think. By July, early July, I started getting a lot of flack for that comment I made about the fraud. And I was getting a lot of heat on Twitter, and people were really angry at me about that. And I still at this point believed Kyle. So, but it was getting really intense to the point where I wanted to separate myself from it because I didn't want to be connected to anything if there was any sort of fraud from either one of them. I didn't want to be in the middle of it because I had never been paid for any of my work with them, and I just wanted to let it die down. And so I tried to just sort of block everything on Twitter. I didn't watch streams. I didn't watch a lot of the videos. I didn't really know what was going on. If people would bring it up to me, I didn't really respond. I tried to stay as out of it as I could after those initial couple weeks. And I, at the time, wrongly believed that the statement about Steve defrauding the government or something caused one of his followers, I can't remember what her name is, Cheshire or something, to create a fake account. And so I thought incorrectly that they had created this account and they were emailing, and whoever did this, it really did happen. This account was created on Twitter. They created an email in my likeness, and they began emailing some of my colleagues or business connections, and like pretending to be me. And I thought that was coming from Steve's camp because it happened at the exact same time. Now, it could have been someone that was like a supporter of Steve or like a troll, like supporting Steve doing this to me. I believed it was either Steve or someone connected to him or Cheshire, but they've told me that's not true. So at the time, I sent a message to Kyle and I told him I'm going to need to separate from Non Sequitur for a bit. And this was on July 2nd. Steve's crew is out of control. They stole my own intellectual property and created a Twitter account. They've created an email account with my company name, and they're emailing my affiliates and pretending to be me. And he said, alrighty. So they had emailed one of my business partners named Jennifer and were posing as me, trying to find out about writing for them, almost like as though they were going to submit things in my name, which is like really freaky if you think about it. And they had created an entire like Gmail account. And they still have this entire Twitter account. And they still post things about me, and I am blocked by them, which is weird. They talk about me nonstop on this Twitter account, and I blocked them, but they still continue to talk to me. I mean, to this day, they are still tweeting about me on this account, and it's called, I think, Without Any Crystal Balls or something. I don't even know. And it's like, it's very close to what my Twitter handle is, so it would easily confuse someone. And they created a Gmail account that would confuse people too, and it would look like it's coming from me. And so when that started to happen, I told Kyle I didn't want to be a part of it anymore. And so then about a week later, he sort of like reached out to me and he said, I'm going to miss you tonight, because we were going to that would have been the night we do a stream. And I was like, I felt bad, like I felt like, oh God, I really want to be there for my friend. Like I should just do this. And so I asked him like if everything was cool, and he told me that everything was fine. So, these might be out of order. Hold on a second. So he said, we had a meeting on Friday, came to some agreements, and I said, yeah, what was the conclusion? And he said, Steve will get half up leading up to the break off of Non Sequitur, and it will stay with me. So that he said the channel would stay with him. Sorry, you guys. So it was after he said that he had.
Okay, y'all, Without Any Crystal Balls is here, and I want to read, since this is about her, I would like to read what she just said. For the record, KJ never showed any copies of these emails, just a DM claiming it, and the Gmail address she claimed was used didn't even exist.
I've never seen those screenshots.
And that Amber chick, apparently it was because I have evidence the Gmail address she claimed was impersonating her didn't even exist. Can you get me that evidence and I can post it on the Instagram? Because I don't think I have it. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
they're on her Twitter account, I think. Always said commentary. For as long as I've known it, it's always said commentary. Okay, I'm going to resume.
I'm sorry. I have these all in order. I don't know why these backtrack don't work. This is so stressful for me. Like, I'm very nervous doing this, and I know people aren't going to believe me, and I hate that part of the internet because people will say that, oh, you're doing this for this reason, and I honestly have no other motive, but I don't like lying. I don't like it when people lie to me, and that's really what it comes down to. So he reaches out to me and he says, like, I'm going to miss you tonight, and I say, okay, yeah. So, like, and then he tells me, like, everything comes, they've agreed on everything, and I said, isn't that what you offered from the beginning? And he said, yeah, but after the lawyer went through everything, Steve didn't have any standing to make any demands. And I said, did he have a lawyer? Did he agree to shut up about you and your co-host? And he said, he's got to, or no deal for him. And I said, good. My God, he's been on a tear. He's hosted an entire show about me, because at this point he was very upset with me. So it was after that he told me that everything was settled. I did the stream with him. And then on that stream, and I don't have screenshots of this, he told me that I asked him again about the meeting, and he said, well, it was me and it was Steve and it was my lawyer and his power of attorney. And we all sat down, and my lawyer went point by point. And he basically showed Steve everything about what was going on, and Steve didn't have a leg to stand on. And so Steve is going to stop doing this. I'm going to give him 50% of everything, and it's going to be over. And so it was after that, where he had told me again that it was over, that someone tagged me on something on Twitter, and I was like, well, you guys, it's over, it's already done. And it was innocent on my part, because I literally believed that it was over. And then people started tagging me and be like, what are you talking about? There was no attorneys. What are you doing? What's going on? And then at that point, I was extremely upset, because I was like, holy crap, did he lie to me? And so, let's see if I can get this back. Okay, so he said he's lying. If you notice, I have a stream to set up that tomorrow. So I had said to him, I thought you got all this settled. And I said, I didn't see that. And he said, there's a link. And then I said, what was that from? I thought the stream was tonight. I'm confused. You told me you met with your lawyer and Steve. These are so out of order. Okay, sorry. This was the first one. It says Steve is saying you guys never met with lawyers. He was on Reds, which was another channel, bitching, and people are back. And I thought you said this was done. And then he told me that, yeah, he's lying. If you notice, I have a stream set up to expose that tomorrow. And I said I didn't see that. And then I reached out to him again and I said, I thought your stream was tonight. I'm confused. You told me you met with your lawyer and Steve. And then I said, I'm confused. You told me that you met with your lawyer and Steve in a group call. You told me that your lawyer presented him with info. And then last night you said he hadn't met the lawyer. And that was after he did the stream where he said like, oh no, there hadn't been a lawyer and he's never met my lawyer and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, not with my lawyer, Steve's lawyer, which made no sense to me. Why would Steve's lawyer present information to him that would make Steve have to bend to Kyle's demands? That was like my first red flag that something was wrong here. And I said, you said you all met together. And he said, we all did. I was alone. And he said, but I asked you if your lawyer was there and you said yes. Maybe I misunderstood what you were asking. My attorney didn't want me to meet with them in the first place. He said, it was me, Steve, and Red, Dave, and Steve's power of attorney. And I said, you didn't mention anyone else was there, just the four of you. He said, Dave didn't say a word. I think it's funny now Steve has been instructed not to comment. And I said, why doesn't your attorney just reach out? And he said, he's going to once it's ready to be sent over. He has to verify that with medical and then with the contact his power of attorney related to like his medical stuff with taxes. And he says, until then, there's nothing to discuss. And I said, verify what medical? And he said that Steve reported he had additional income coming in. And this is where I was like, this makes no sense because my son gets Medicaid and you don't have to report future earnings. You only report what you've made. And I said, but he didn't get paid. He didn't have anything to report. And he said, but he's wanting the funds that are accrued during that time. And he received benefits that were determined based on that income he reported he had coming in. And if I just turn that over and he didn't report it, there's an issue, which is actually not true. If that were to happen and he were to report it, if for some reason it would come back that he weren't eligible, then the state would go to Steve, not to Kyle, and ask for the money or whatever they had to pay during that time. And that happens a lot, especially like with Social Security and other benefits. Like if it was an error in payment, the government will always come back and be like, you owe us money. And it would not have been Kyle's responsibility at all. As long as Kyle reports his taxes, what he gives to Steve is not his issue. And so that was sort of another red flag for me.
I just want to say this whole thing about Steve allegedly committing fraud or not wanting to claim money or whatever. I mean, we're talking about his VA benefits, right? I mean, aren't those given to people? I mean, regardless of income. I mean, why is this even a thing? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go back.
And I said, but if you didn't receive the income that accrued during that time, he can't report it. You can't report money that you haven't received. State benefits are not approved based on future income. It's based on previous year's taxes. And he said he can report additional income streams with an average amount. The issue is the money he wants was made during that time. It was just being held by me and the taxes were being paid by me. And I said, so you paid taxes on the income? And then he sent me something to do with the SSI. And I said, okay, so are you worried you were going to get in trouble for this? And he says, no, because the responsibility to report those lies with him, I have plausible deniability, which again, makes no sense. Like if he's saying that it doesn't, he told me like, if he's not worried that it's going to come back to him, then why couldn't he just give Steve the money? And why couldn't he have his attorney reach out to him? And I said, so if the liability falls on him, then why not just send the money? I'm confused. And he said, because my lawyer wants to be more than certain, it can't come back to me because now I'm aware of the intent. So that was really one of the last times I spoke to Kyle, because after that, I reached out to him and I told him, like, I reached Jesse, my moderator, Jesse Bear, will attest that this is exactly what I did. After I had that conversation with Kyle, I messaged her because there is nobody I trust more on my team than Jesse. She has become one of my very good friends, and I like trust her when I tell her things. And I told her what was going on. I shared the screenshots, and she was just like, "This is really messed up." And I said, I think he's lying. I don't think he has the money. And I didn't know, right? And so I just kept believing that he would pay him. And I just kind of at this point stopped really talking to him. I wasn't connected to him in terms of my channel. I didn't really want anything to do with it because it all seemed super messy. And I am not the kind of person, like, I'm the kind of person that pays everything on time. I've like always had a really good credit score. I like try my best to always pay things off in advance. I am very like, if I owe you money, I'm going to pay you back. If you owe me money, I'm going to expect you to pay me back. I try to follow very much the letter of the law. The only time that's ever happened with us in terms of like financial stuff was my husband had to foreclose on his house in 2012, but like literally everyone in the United States was foreclosing on their houses at the time. So that isn't really that big of a deal. But like beyond that, it's like I didn't want to be associated with this because that's not my like moral, like I really value truth and honesty. And so I didn't really talk to him very much. And I think the last time I talked to him was like a couple of weeks ago after he did a stream where he was going to say goodbye to the Non Sequitur show. And I think I texted him in the beginning of August, very briefly, like very brief. And then again, August 28th, there was a very brief communication. And that's the last time I've talked to him. And I haven't really talked to anyone else connected to it either. I haven't talked to Shannon. I haven't really talked to Casey. I haven't really talked to Godless Engineer. I have never really had a relationship with Jimmy, who's the friendly atheist who's connected to this too. So I just like, I was never part of that club. I was always on the outside of it. So when I sort of walked away, I walked away from everyone. I like not on purpose. It just kind of happened that way. And my content is very different than what they all do. And so it kind of just like made sense, if that makes sense. This is so confusing. So with all of that said, I started getting tagged again with all of this Amber stuff, right? People.
I just want to point out that we're 25 minutes into a 33-minute long video and she still hasn't apologized. Just saying.
She's like justifying the fuck out of everything,
Well,
right? It's
mhm.
insane.
Like,
Why?
first, let me explain the whole story and exonerate myself and give all these excuses before I apologize to feign responsibility.
Well, this is how she apologizes, though. Like,
Yeah.
all the
Mhm.
apology videos are the same. It's all about deflection, um, justification. You know, it's never an apology.
Yep.
Like, she's got to really garner sympathy first before it's like, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You don't, if you're truly sorry, but is not involved, right? When you make an amends, you don't, in recovery, when you make an amends, you don't go to somebody, I'm sorry, but, right? Like, you
Right.
apologize for everything that you've done. You ask them, how can I make this right? Like, how
Mhm.
can I amend this situation? And
Yeah.
once they tell
Every
you what you can do, right? Like,
right.
you do it and then you change and you never do that again.
Every apology I've ever heard come out of her mouth, it's like it's just a tool to get to a desired end result. When the apology is supposed to be the end result, it's
Right.
supposed. So.
Well, and the thing is that if she would have just done this video, okay? I've talked to Steve about this. If she would have just done this apology video, even if it's excuses and blah blah blah, right? Smoke and mirrors. If she wouldn't have struck him,
Mhm.
it would have been over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But she struck him
Over this video too.
over an apology video that was made to him.
Oh
Right?
my god.
Like, shouldn't, if if all his subscribers saw what she was doing to him and saying, shouldn't it be able to be on his channel to rectify the situation and let them know
Mm-hmm.
that she was wrong and Steve was not these things?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, I mean, if you really meant the apology, I mean, that's like the one video you'd be like, all right, yeah, no, that's cool. That's yours, Not like, give me my AdSense.
Well, dude, she did the apology to, oh my gosh, Chelsea from Teen Mom, right? She did that apology video and she made sure to say Lindsay Chrisley. So she had to get clout for it, right? And she said it and she said but, of course, right? And
Hmm.
she did, I mean, our conversation, she didn't believe, she blamed her subs. Like I privately had a conversation after she had screamed at me on her Instagram live in front of all the people that were watching because I disagreed with her and told her no, that's not what happened. Had a private conversation with her and she blamed her subs for her behavior, for mocking Chelsea's mental health,
Hmm.
right? She didn't, and I was so nice. Like I'm not a horrible mean person to her. I'm still nice. Like she's blocked so she can't see my shit unless she stalks me cuz I don't want to like
Right.
cause harm, right?
You know she does though. I'm just saying.
Well, oh yeah, yeah. But anyway, so in that apology video, she did the da 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 da. I'm sorry. I have ADHD and we act impulsively and impulsivity and you know what I mean. She justified
Hmm.
everything, and that video's gone as well. She didn't mean shit. An
Right.
apology is not repeating the same mistake over and over and over again. It doesn't matter if it's to other people, like you amend the behavior.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And the apology video she did not too long ago, like a month ago or so,
Hmm.
my statement, my something.
Hmm.
I started watching that live. I think a lot of us did, and we got to be like maybe 3 minutes into it. And I thought, oh wow, maybe she's actually going to apologize. And then it was like not even 30 seconds later, she starts talking about for the past 18 months, year and a half or
Right.
so, I've had this troll group, and I'm like, oh Jesus, here we go.
I think that we should
Like,
do
there
like,
goes that.
I don't know if it would be called a trilogy. We should do a trilogy on apology videos. Like we should. I have many of them, so it would
Could do
be
like a
really
mashup
interesting.
too.
Yeah, we should do that. And yeah, we could do the mashup. We don't have to watch the full things, or we could watch the full things and then we can put them all together and, here you go. Every
Highlighted
apology you've
reel, yeah.
ever made. So funny.
Oh god. Okay.
People kept tagging me and like Steve was saying stuff and I was really confused. And I was like, someone tagged me about some sort of like, he's suing someone or some sort of lawsuits going on. And so I ended up going to, and I didn't know anything about anything. Like, I didn't know anything about lawsuits. I didn't know anything about anything. Like, I have no lawsuits out against me. I hadn't followed his page. I hadn't blocked on Twitter. I wasn't watching. I mean, he hosted videos where he talked about me. I didn't watch them. I just felt like if anything, he can say what he wants about me and it's fine. Like, I'm not going to get in the middle of this. Like, let him be mad at me. I don't care. I'm going to move on. But then I ended up going to his Facebook page because I kept getting tagged and stuff related to him. And I was like, all right, I have to see what's going on, why I'm continuing to get tagged. This is 3 months later. And I ended up finding he posted like a Google Drive to the lawsuit that he filed against Kyle in August, I think on August 23rd in Guilford County, North Carolina, which outlined all of the stuff related to the demise of Non Sequitur, their partnership, and like how he hasn't been paid, hasn't talked to an attorney, and everything that I had felt in July, reading the documents that he made against Kyle made sense. That what Kyle told me wasn't true and that he had misled me. And then I had defended Kyle and then accused Steve of something based on statements made by Kyle. And then I felt terrible because I trusted Kyle and I believed Kyle when he told me that this is what was going on. But once I saw what was in the lawsuit between Kyle and Steve, and knowing that still to this day he hasn't seen the books or talked to the attorney. And for the record, I've never believed there was an attorney. I never bought the story that the attorney wouldn't reach out, because I've been involved with enough of this stuff to know that mediation doesn't require documents being sent over. It's, you know, his attorney should have reached out right away. Which led me to believe that he had been stalling, because I don't know why. I cannot speculate. I just think that he probably spent the money. During the time that he was making that money, he did go on a lot of trips. He bought a lot of stuff. He wore a lot of nice suits. He went out a lot. So I don't know. And I'm not, I don't know. Like, I just don't think the money's there anymore. I think he probably paid his rent. Who knows? Anyways, I felt terrible at that point. So then I put those tweets out this morning, and then I reached out to Steve and I said, listen, I just want to talk to you. I'm sorry. I feel like I was misled. And then Steve was basically like, I never believed that you were part of this. I believe that he lied to you and that you believed him. And because he was your friend, you stuck up for him and you trusted your friends. And I said, that's exactly what happened. And I apologized for the statements I made. I said I felt terrible. And then Steve showed me a ton of evidence from his side, which basically proved that what Kyle had been telling me was completely inaccurate. He even told me that Kyle had told me that that meeting that they'd had where he said the lawyers were, he said that Steve had requested that meeting. But I saw screenshots from Kyle to Steve that basically Kyle insisted on that meeting, wanted that meeting, didn't want anyone there, only wanted it to be them. So it wasn't like Kyle was being requested to have the meeting, it was the other way around. And then I saw a lot of stuff about business things where he was like alleging to maybe be signing documents, legal documents for Steve. Just a lot of stuff that like appeared very shady. And I don't know if this was like the intention the whole time to like take the money, or maybe it was once the money started coming in, he might have intended to pay Steve, but then it got to a point where he didn't have the money anymore. And so then this web of lies started.
Do you see Holly Grace's comment?
Yeah, I saw. I was just
I
ignoring.
think it's funny. I just where is it? Shoot, I see it on my one. I see it on the computer. I like the computer thing. It's nice and big. She said that's enough videos on this topic. That's funny because there's a lot more videos on this topic. So get ready, because they're coming. They're gonna be shown. Everybody's gonna see them. Get ready.
I don't know. Like I said, I never saw the books and I was never paid. What I did was wrong because I believed a friend, and anyways, I believed him. I don't know what Kyle's motives were. I don't know why he didn't pay him. I don't know why he doesn't have an attorney, or he didn't give the attorney's name. I can only say that, like, based on what I saw, I truly believe that Kyle misled all of us. And if you have supported Kyle, and like, I don't think this hurts me so much because I valued our friendship so much. And like, I was so invested in that show because of like my connection and like doing the work with them. So I can't even imagine what it's like for the daily viewer if you have come to this end of this and realize that maybe I have something. I don't know. I gave you the screenshots so that you can see that I stopped trusting him, and none of the things that he said to me made sense. The evidence that Steve showed me supported my hunch that he was lying. And now I have to just say, I'm sorry to you, Steve, for making those statements. I would have never made those statements if I had known or had the right information or had trusted you to begin with. I didn't know anything, and I just followed and trusted a friend. But I'm not the kind of person that will ever just blindly stay silent or trust someone or protect someone just because they are my friend. I can't. I won't do that. I don't want to stand in that way, in that at all. I just want to say, like, I value honesty more than anything. And I feel like I was deceived and I feel like I was lied to. And I'm sorry that, I guess if I were Steve, I would be super angry too. I have not loved how he's handled this publicly, but that's neither here nor there. I can see why he would though, because this was tens of thousands of dollars, $25,000 to $30,000 that he doesn't have, and that's theft. So he deserves that money, and I hope he gets paid. I really do.
So he still hasn't been paid. And her story has changed several times. We will see. Um,
Yeah, there's about a minute left in the video.
okay. Kiki, if you're
So we'll,
here, I'm sorry. I didn't get
yeah.
my iPad out. I was looking on my phone. I didn't even think about it, and I can't see very good on my phone compared to my iPad. So I saw moderates, and I went back and looked. So I'm sorry.
Okay. I have to go back and look too. I didn't see anything.
Well, she just said she thought she was blocked. Nobody could see her comments because nobody was
Oh,
saying anything. I think we're all paying attention to what's going on, and
yeah,
uh,
sorry. I keep trying to look at the chat. I know I have to get better at this. Hi, it's
learning.
Carrie. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the last minute here.
I definitely want to just move forward. But I feel like I have to speak out because these are the people that helped me get started on YouTube, and it would be really ridiculous for me to just sweep this under the rug. And I just want Steve to know very publicly that I'm sorry, and I'm not going to talk about it anymore after this, I promise. So if you guys have comments or questions, let me know, but I will delete. I'm not going to lie. If you are going to troll me and if you are going to attack me, I will delete the comments. I don't like being called names. I've admitted what I've done, and I hope you can forgive me. And I hope you can understand that if you had a friend that you trusted and believed, that sometimes it's easy to be swayed by someone who pretty much gave you your start in your career on YouTube, and that you want to believe the best in them because of everything they did for you. That's it, you guys. Bye.
Okay. There. I I don't know. It just sounded like another apology video. I mean, yes, she said, "I'm sorry, Steve," at the end, but what was she apologizing for? For being lied to? I mean, according to her.
Right. She justified it. Here's the thing. It seems like she doesn't realize, and I see this happen with a lot of people, right, on social media. A lot of people will jump on a bandwagon, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll hear something, they'll jump on the bandwagon. They don't do their due diligence to really like find out what's going on, like what's really going on, because there's always three sides to a story, right? There's this
Right.
person and this person, and in the middle there's going to be the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't do your due diligence and um really find out for yourself what's going on, you're going to be in a situation like Katie. You're going to be apologizing. First off, she only did 2 streams with Steve, right? Uh she claimed in one of the videos that Steve sexually harassed her on one of those 2 streams, which seems so odd to me. Anyway, that's just me. But she inserted herself for somebody that didn't really know anybody and that wasn't involved very long. She
She
really inserted herself right into the middle of the shit, right?
she turned herself into Yoko.
That's right. She did. She did. And
Oh God.
it it's insane. I mean, I want to think that I don't know. I think that she might have figured out, like, oh, if I get into this drama, I'm going to get more views. I'm going to get more attention. You
Right,
know,
yeah,
so
like she try to like siphon him off of the Non Sequitur shows sub count or something.
without any crystal ball, says KJ did not jump on a bandwagon though. She rounded up the wagons. Seriously, have the tweets where it all went down and you could see the evolution of the false criminal accusations. See, I haven't seen a lot of them. I mean, I saw the conversation about where there it's I'm pretty sure it's posted about the porn star that they had on, and
Yeah.
Steve said nice boobs though, or no, Katie said nice boobs though.
Oh, yeah,
So
Steve was saying, yeah, I would love to have you on again or something like that. And Steve goes, or Katie goes, those boobs though.
right. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know. It's very confusing, but yeah, her apology videos are all the same. They seem to be, at least, and they all eventually disappear, and then she typically will start deny. It didn't happen. It didn't go down that way. It didn't nothing.
Hmm.
Yeah, on the group's Instagram, there are screenshots, and hopefully I can get the others and then the video. So the ones that I've seen, that's all I've seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen it really. Now that I'm thinking about it, the only screenshots I've seen like throughout that whole ordeal there in the beginning was pretty much what other people have shared. I mean, and those are like the more common ones, the ones that have gotten made their rounds or whatever by now.
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of people don't know about all this because we
Yeah.
really haven't talked about it a lot. I mean, um,
Well, I
Steve
mean,
and Katie aren't talking about it, right?
right. Yeah. So those they were the main ones who talked about it. I mean, neither one. I mean, they both talked about it like constantly, and now neither one of them can really talk about it. So
Well,
you
and
know.
Katie's, she's deleted or privated all those videos. So you're not going to
Oh,
see like really all the drama until we bring it all out for you.
yeah. She said. I think it's. Was it last night's video or something? I think she said that her Twitter. She claimed that her Twitter was hacked, and like she doesn't have control of it anymore. I think that's what she said. I'm
Oh,
kind of curious.
I didn't
Well,
see that. The other
well,
one.
no, no, yeah, the other one, the Katie
She
Joy
took it
Wifey
down.
one.
Yeah, she took it
Yeah,
down.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think it was hacked. I mean, I'm kind of curious to see like what happens with the lawsuit, whether or not like Salty side there, if they have like all the screenshots or all the data and everything for that Twitter
Oh, I'm
account
sure
still.
they. You know what? Here's the thing, okay? Just this is just uh speculation and opinion. I am sure that they have been probably collecting evidence since the very last cease and desist. That's what I would think. They have had a long time to get everything they need so she can delete anything she wants. I bet they already have it. And without said it, KJ has deleted the entire Twitter account she was using back then. She said she shut it down. It was not hacked, and
Mhm.
it's been fully deleted.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of wondering because when I'm telling you, I'm almost positive it was last night's video or stream or whatever she did, where she said, if not last night, then the night before, but she said that it was hacked and that she no longer has control over it because she said both her Instagram and her Twitter was hacked, but she no longer has control over that Twitter account.
Right, but yet she has double whatever, what is it called? I have all
Like
the
two
double shit
factor,
that we put on it.
yeah, two-factor authentication.
Yeah, okay, so Katie's MO allegedly is when the heat is on her, whatever she does to fucking piss people off, right? She
Hmm.
will either claim that she's been hacked. Oh, she'll be on a live stream and be like, "Oh, ding, ding, ding! Look, the five times they just tried to get into my account 5 times. Ding, 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 ding. Right? Ding, 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 ding. Whatever.
You
Uh,
know, in that
that's
video, oh, go ahead.
that's one. Right? Her next one is to say, "I have this Facebook troll group." Like,
Mhm.
that's her next one, right? And then I have a stalker that I
Yep.
had to get a TRO, or no, she didn't even say TRO. She says a RO against, right? So you have to realize that she has a pattern. She will, and then the authorities have been called. You guys stop calling the authorities, whether it be CPS or the sheriff or, whatever, right? There's a pattern of behavior here that we have seen happen many, many, many times.
Mhm.
People that are just going to be like, we've been watching for a while. We've been looking at I'm a pattern person. Like, I look at patterns. That's very interesting to me. So if something she's done that she knows she's guilty about, in my opinion, she will pull one of those cards. She will pull the ding, ding, ding card. I'm getting
Mhm.
hacked. She will pull the stop sending the police here, or stop contacting whatever place. Or she will pull the I have the troll group and stalkers. Those are
Yep.
her three things to garner sympathy, and she's very good at it. Like,
Yep.
she
And
should really go into she could be an actress, or she could be like her and Uni could, be the next Jim and Tammy Faye.
she acts about as well as a porn actress, though. Just saying. She tries though. And notice though, in that ding 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 video, if you listen for like another 30 seconds, you notice just whose name she says. She was reading the chat, and she said something that kind of pissed me off. She was saying, she was telling the people whose show she was on, who she was being interviewed by, how because of her, some articles she wrote, that Facebook had got removed a bunch of their anti-vaccine material. And I'm like, that's not what happened. In fact, they should still there. What is she talking about? So I put a comment in the chat. I'm like, yeah, no, Facebook hasn't done shit. And she's like, oh, Erin says. And then she's like, well, yeah, I didn't say, yeah, okay, they didn't really remove anything, but it's, dude, come on.
It's all to push a narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the narrative is, she will come up with any narrative to get people, in my opinion, off her ass, right? Like, she will look, she called a 8-year-old child a brat. Then she doubled down, right? She doubled down and did another video showing the video of her calling the 8-year-old
Mm-hmm.
child a brat.
Or she went on the Critical K show saying, well, I mean, can't children get bratty?
Right.
And for anyone who doesn't understand here, she didn't just call it, I think the girl's 9. She didn't just call a 9-year-old girl a brat just because, for no reason. The girl made a claim of being abused, and as a result, Katie said she didn't really believe her, and she thought that she was just acting like a brat. That's so. I feel it's important to highlight that, because it's that much worse.
I will say that what she does, and this, I will always keep it 100, right? She
Mm-hmm.
read one of the people in the chat's comments. She does that. She
Yeah.
does that to push narratives, or to talk about something that is controversial. And I mean, if you really pay attention, you'll see it.
Mm-hmm.
So she did, somebody in the chat said it, she repeated it, and then she built upon it, right? So now she'll just deny she even did it. I didn't do it. I mean, she did that video, and I still haven't compared the two. I was wondering, because she wore the same shirt. I'm wondering if she tinkered with it or something, put more into it. I haven't really looked into it side by side yet to see, but that is something I'm going to do. But she really was convinced that, everybody was going to see that the context was there for her to call her a brat, and she was going to be excused for it, and it didn't work out.
No. And then, so what does she do when she realizes it's not going to work out? She goes on the Critical K and just, says it again, only this time, says it in a way like, well, I mean, how can you not think this about her? How can you think I'm wrong? Kind of tone. Just, Maya, I don't know if she gets like a Medicaid supplement for her son. I know she said that she gets it. Sure, in the past she said this. Um, I know I don't know what it's like in Minnesota, but I know like in when you have a child with disabilities in New York, um, income doesn't really matter. You're allowed services regardless up to a certain extent, anyways. So I don't. It could be the same thing in Minnesota. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But I know she was when Todd was working. I know she said that they were getting insurance through his employer. But I mean, they could have been getting a Medicaid supplement after that. I don't know.
The thing is that she shared so much, and
Yeah,
Maya has been around longer than
yeah,
me. You know what I mean? So
hmm
she's been around a lot longer than me. So uh, she's
yeah.
seen her and heard her say other stuff. I wish there was videos for all the beginning stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, there's. I know
But
in the beginning she said in the video that she or her husband, I think it was her, she says she could get paid, she gets paid to be like a caregiver to her son, which
yeah,
like New York State offers that too. I mean, if the loved one needs that kind of care, then rather than hire out, you can stay home with that loved one, and then New York State will pay you instead of a worker.
right.
um so I know she mentioned that she either was getting that or she qualified for this. I can't remember which.
Yeah, I don't know. I just figure, I figure
Yeah.
it's kind of like I figure her son's safe and protected because there's nurses. I figure any of that stuff like that I'm all about facts and evidence, and I have no facts and evidence to prove none of that, right?
Hmm.
So, I mean, we know what she said at different points in her career on YouTube, but their situation has changed a lot as well.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
it's not the same as it was back then. So who knows? Speculating about it. I mean, people can do that all they want, but there's no
I,
evidence, and unless she says it herself, and I have it on video or I have a screenshot of her saying it, I got nothing.
and I'm kind of in the camp though, where of all the things that she has done and she is guilty for, if even if she were getting Medicaid or her son was getting supplemental insurance or whatever, that'd be like the least, I think, bad thing. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I'm also
I
from the camp of I think universal health care for everyone. So
right. Well, it's just I just see what she did to Steve and how hard she
yeah,
went for Steve
yeah,
over
it's
defrauding the government. And the thing, I don't know if I
hmm
finished, if my thing screwed up, but with I've looked into California with Medi-Cal in California. If Steve, even if he had, okay, so you do it once a year, and even if you have a change to your income, like you report it, but you will have the insurance until the following year. You have
right,
it,
yeah,
it doesn't just stop. You know what I mean? Like once you have it for the year. So he he wasn't committing fraud. Like he wasn't doing anything wrong, and he would have reported it, and then, you know, they would have decided like, okay, whatever, either you qualify or you don't. There
hmm
was no fraud
yep.
there though. He would have had it regardless. He didn't do something to hide it, you know? Of course he would want the money.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
that's another like, and there was plenty of videos. Or excuse, one of her main excuse was, well, Steve said in a text to me that he didn't even care about the money. Like that was an excuse for anything and everything. Well, who was she? I mean,
Where's
he
the
was
text too? Where's the
what
text? Where's the
even
evidence?
he could have texted that to her like 50,000 times. Who is she to the channel? She's no one. She's nothing. So what he says to her doesn't matter, and he's it's half his channel. He has every right to change his mind at any point in time if that was what he said to Kyle or something. I mean, he can sit there and say to Kyle for 364 days, I don't want to get paid, and then on that last day he can change his mind. So I mean, just that excuse has just always driven me nuts. It's like, really? No.
Okay, so without any crystal balls, not without a crystal ball. Let's see, Shelby and wait, Shelby. Where's the first one? What lawyers need to do, blah, blah, laugh out loud. She strays, contradicting herself, and help at moderate extremists. I was just watching a video where your name was mentioned, laugh out loud. And didn't she say the other day she's never been on Medicaid? Oh, I was trying to get to without Medicaid, or did she say that she is no longer on Medicaid? Without any crystal balls says she was sued for defamation in April
Yeah.
2019, 5 months before the video you're watching. But she got it dismissed for jurisdiction issues and bragged how it was good for her career. Yeah, of
Well,
course.
was it Buzzgale, I think is her name? She did a video, or I seen the video today anyways, where she questions, is Katie losing her mind or is she like a
I saw
genius?
that. I saw that. Right. You know what? Because I mean, if she's, yeah, I saw
Mhm.
it. I saw half the video. I didn't finish it. I'll have to finish it. But she knows what's going to get her. Her main goal, allegedly, or in my opinion, is to get subs and views, right? She said how you get subs and views. You create drama. She's told Suzanne that. Like, you create drama. She
Mhm.
did that with the Non Sequitur. So she got subs and views. You know what I mean?
Yep.
She inserted herself right in the middle of that.
That's, I mean, yeah, and I have no doubt that that is a, I don't know, it's a plan, I guess, and it can garnish or can gain you, views and subscribers and, and therefore money. But I mean, it's not a long-term plan. I mean, that you can't sustain yourself by being the most hated person on YouTube.
Yeah, but I think she looks at Trisha Paytas, Ethan, um, Keem. She looks at the people that are so bad, that have the worst reputations, right? Which I think all those people are cool, but they're like controversial.
Yes, controversy. Do they have the bad reputation for being a hypocrite, a liar, for you know what I mean? I mean,
Right.
I don't know their reputations all that well, so maybe they do. I don't know, but I know they're polarizing personalities on YouTube, but to my knowledge, they're not known for the same reasons that she's known.
Right.
So
Okay, so what video do you all want to watch next time? I think she wanted without any crystal ball says, I think she wanted Amber Portwood and Micah Stauffer to sue her, which is why she went as hard as she did.
Amber, yes,
I
I fully agree with Amber
I
on that.
fully
Yeah,
agree.
yep. Micah too, probably, but definitely Amber. I mean,
Well, she said she's claimed just recently she got a ton of views from and a ton of subs from Micah.
mhm.
You know what I mean? She wasn't even going to do that. I would respect her so much more if she wouldn't have. If she would have stood to the words that she said to begin with. This is a child, right? But she saw, I believe she saw how it was getting, right? And she's like, I'm going to jump on this cash train, right? And she went hard for Micah.
Mhm.
She went very hard for Micah, just like she's done like with Toddy. Worse. I think she was, in my opinion, she was much harder on Micah.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it just yeah, it was like savage. There was
It
no
was.
holding back.
I mean the I forget who we got screenshots from the police department uh in Micah's jurisdiction or whatever
Oh
because
yeah.
you remember that? Because I forget who did it, but hopefully next time is with you without um I can do it any day, Monday through Saturday, not Sunday.
I'm free Monday.
Monday. Three of us, I think it would be great.
Yeah, exactly. That's when I first started really paying attention to Katie, like on a regular basis. And I thought, oh, that's cool. She's here getting all these messages from her viewers and everything. They're trying to push a story on her, but she's, yeah, taking the high road. That's cool. And then what, like 24, 48 hours later or less than that, just wham! Suddenly she's balls deep in that story.
Dude, and it's obsessively
Mm-hmm.
tweeting about it. She went after Shane Dawson that way, in my opinion. She obsessively,
And Jeffree Star.
like, I mean, I have all the screenshots of her going after Shane, saying he was a pervert and a
Mm-hmm.
pedophile and crazy stuff, right? And it's like she goes hard, and it's insane to me. It's beyond. I'm like, she's on one of her tirades. It's like a tirade, That's
Mm-hmm.
what I think it is. She goes on a tirade to get people on board, to get people talking about it. And then she starts doing her videos. Okay, my Mac just said that my battery is low.
Yeah. I'm getting beat too. So we'll plan on Monday night?
Monday night without? She could reach out to one of us.
Yeah. You can reach out to either one of us on Twitter, whatever. We'll
let us know.
Get the specifics down. But thanks for showing up, everyone.
Thank you, guys. We'll
Good
see you next
night.
time.
Good night.
Next time, my channel, Monday, yeah?
Oh, yeah. It'll be her channel next time.
Or
yes.
her channel. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
That's true.
Okay,
All right.
y'all.
Good night.
Bye.